less in length. 45% of all trips rather than flights, 45% of all trips are 500 kilometers or less in length. Now, if we had a fast and affordable rail system, allied to higher taxes on short distance flights, then we are going to get, all the surveys show, modal shift from air to rail. So there is a positive way forward. There is a way forward in which aviation can be tamed, business can still flourish, and we still can, and we in the UK can still go on holiday to the sun somewhere else. It can be done, and that's the debate that we want to initiate through this petition during the course of this Parliament. One final word on night flights. Suzanne has mentioned them. I think for citizens under flight pass, if you ask them what is their single biggest concern, it is flights at night. It's been woken up at night. Individual airports are very reluctant to do anything about night flights because they're afraid that the night flights will go to a competitor airport either somewhere else in their own country or somewhere else in Europe. And while night flight bans can be introduced without harming the economy, as Frankfurt has done, nevertheless, we do think that some direction from Europe would help no end, because right now there is this competition between the airports. If there was a level playing field, perhaps a night flight directive, for example, that would make airports much more confident in being able to reduce or even stop night flights at their airport. So it's managing demand, it's finding a way of reducing or banning night flights. That's a discussion we want to initiate, Pete, over the next 5 years. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, John. So, yeah, fiscally based modal shift. Catchy title. But it's something that we need to work on because we need transport. We all need transport. And we need to do it as positively as possible for the sake of the environment. We mustn't forget the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report just 2 weeks ago, which is saying to us that we must end our use of fossil fuels by 2100. Otherwise, it's game over. Oh, right. Okay. Well, the next part of the proceedings is the handover of the petition. And
thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I have to say that I admire you very much for having been able to come to the Parliament so early in the morning, and so many of you from so many different countries in Europe. I wish I would have the time to spend more time with you this morning, but it's simply impossible. I need to move on. Normally, there is no one to receive a petition. Normally, it's done on the internet. This is an exception. I'm happy to receive this and hand it over to the Secretariat. But I would also like to take the opportunity of telling you that last time when we had a meeting in the Petitions Committee, there was a woman from France with a petition. She came in person to present her claim, and this was exactly what she was telling us all about, how she's suffering. She's living next to Charles de Gaulle, and she's really suffering health issues and physical and psychological suffering of huge dimensions. A heartbreaking story, really. So this is severe, and I can promise you nothing but that we will take care of your petition and handle it with care and a lot of respect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is an important document. I'll be happy to forward it to the Secretariat. There is no one here from the Secretariat, but I will give it to them.
I need photographers. Excuse me.
somebody from the secretariat at the back there, I think. He's just put his hand up. Yeah, yeah. He's hiding his hand.
Thank you very much. I wish you all an excellent day.
Thank you very much. Were there any other members who wish to say something?
Ich würde gern, ich möchte es aber gerne auf Deutsch machen. Ich möchte mich ganz herzlich für die Einladung bedanken. Das Thema Nachtflugverbot ist mir auch ein sehr großes Anliegen. Ich wohne in Rosenheim. Rosenheim ist eine Stadt zwischen dem Flughafen München und dem Flughafen Salzburg. Und es gibt eine sehr interessante Situation. Die überfliegenden Flugzeuge aus der Salzburger Ecke werden deutlich bekämpft aus der bayerischen Ecke. Das darf doch nicht sein, dass der Salzburger Flughafen so viel Lärm in Freilassing verursacht. Ich habe auch schon mal Gespräche geführt in die Richtung, dass man sagt, wie kann es sein, dass der bayerische Landtag sehr wohl die Salzburger Flugzeuge angreift und sagt, wir wollen unbedingt unsere bayerischen Kollegen durch die Salzburger Flugzeuge nicht belästigen lassen, aber das Gleiche in München nicht spricht. Das heißt, es gibt anscheinend Bereiche, die man bekämpft, das sind dann die Flugzeuge, die nicht aus Deutschland sind, und die Flugzeuge in Deutschland dürfen weiterhin die Nacht wirklich zum Tag machen. Ich bin selber nach Freising persönlich verbandelt, also mein Freund ist ein Freisinger, das heißt, ich bin auch immer wieder mal über Nacht in Freising und kenne die Situation sehr genau, und es ist ganz klar, wir müssen als Politik den Rahmen setzen. Und der Rahmen kann nicht gesetzt werden ausschließlich durch wirtschaftliche Überlegungen. Dass man sagt, was könnte man noch verkaufen, wo könnte man noch Geld machen. Der Rahmen hat mehr zu sein als die wirtschaftlichen Überlegungen, da gehören die menschlichen Überlegungen dazu. Und dass es hier auch ganz klar um das Thema Eigentum geht, nämlich wie viel wert ist mein Eigentum noch, wenn ich in einer Flugeinflugszone wohne, wie kann ich mein Eigentum vielleicht auch noch vermarkten. Das ist auch ein Bereich, der uns natürlich sehr am Herzen liegt. Ich freue mich, dass Sie aktiv sind, bleiben Sie weiter aktiv. Ich denke mal, sowas kann man nur gemeinsam schaffen. Wir hatten auch, meine Mitarbeiterin ist auch mit dabei, wir hatten auch schon ein Gespräch mit der Flughafenleitung München, die natürlich immer anführt, die anderen Flughäfen dürften in der Nacht starten, und nur für München ist es ein Nachteil, dass in München ja schon ein paar Stunden Nachtflugverbot ist, und der Nachteil müsste ausgeglichen werden. Ich bin der Meinung, die anderen Flughäfen müssten nachbessern, müssen das Nachtflugverbot ausweiten, dann ist wieder Chancengleichheit, und wir werden niemals mit den Flughäfen auf der anderen Seite der Welt konkurrieren können. Da müssen wir auch aufhören, dass wir uns immer gleichsetzen wollen und sagen, ja, in Dubai dürfen es Tag und Nacht starten. Dubai ist nicht Deutschland oder Dubai ist nicht Europa. Wir haben unsere Gesetze und unsere vor allen Dingen auch gesundheitlichen Erwägungen, und ich möchte Sie wirklich bestärken, auf dem Weg aktiv zu bleiben, und wünsche mir allen, wieder informiert zu werden.
I'd like to open the question time to the floor. So please, have we got some short questions, and could you tell us who you are when you ask them?
From Austria Press Agency. I just have one question. I think it's not in your figures. What's the concrete share of night flights on overall flights in Europe? Is it 10%? It's 5%? It's I don't know. If it's the half.
I don't know the exact figures. It is a relatively low percentage, though. It's higher at some airports than others, but it's a relatively low percentage. Certainly, most flights are during the day. I think that the problem with night flights is clearly, it's when people are asleep, when there's lower background noise levels. That's the problem with night flights. It's their impact rather than the number.
Someone else? Another question?
Hello. Yeah, I'm Dominique from Beauvais Airport, Adiras Association. Just a word, Suzanne mentioned it earlier. Expansion of airports are a decision of politicians. And to help them make their decision, they receive plenty of these reports and assessments from the aviation lobby, saying showing all the benefits of the airport growth and all the employment. You mentioned it, that will be created. But these files only count benefits, never the cost of the negative impacts. And I think there is a movement now. We're starting to count the negative, to evaluate and quantify the negative impacts, and they have to be taken into account when assessing the benefits of the airport. Not only expansion, not only growth and employment, also these negative impacts, the health impact, obviously, but also the loss of taxes, the depreciation of houses, and for each person, the loss of quality of life. And this is being quantified as well, not just health impact, but day-to-day impact on your life, saying that if you have a flight above your head every day, or so many flights and so many decibels, that will impact your life, and you can attribute a cost to that. Value the loss that you suffer of quality of life. And this has to be included, and there must be quantification, valuations of these negative impacts.
This is absolutely right, Dominique. It's interesting at Heathrow, we commissioned a report from the Dutch consultant CE Delft, which looked at the economic cost of night flights. And we asked them to look at the economic benefits of night flights, which the industry talks about, and weigh that up against the economic costs of the impact on health, deprivation of sleep, and so on. And what they found, that roughly the economic benefits of night flights were cancelled out by the economic costs of night flights. And I think you're absolutely right. The more work that we can do in this area, the better. Because while we all acknowledge there's economic benefits to the aviation industry, so often the economic costs, be it health, quality of life, noise, climate change, or what have you, are not quantified.
I think that it comes with a little surprise that the pressure to expand aviation, the loudest voices are from the people who own the airports. It's not complicated. They want to make their investment pay greater dividends. Yes, they will pay the financial cost of development, but all too often, and this is why we're all here, it's the communities and the environment who pay the real price. Yeah.
I also wanted to add, it was spoken about fairness. Yes, I'm from Brussels, Belgium. You spoke about exemption and fairness earlier, and it is true that in most cities there are rules that apply to citizens, like you cannot mow your lawn at night, and you can not any bakery can make any amount of noise at night, and most business cannot simply make noise at night. You cannot play loud music, and it is strange that aviation is exempted from those rules, which is not normal, because try to mow your lawn at night and we'll have trouble with your neighbors, but planes are allowed to fly at any hour, and they're much louder than a lawnmower. So I think it's a matter of fairness and not being exempted from rules that apply to anyone but the aviation industry.
Yes, I'm Sally Pavey. I'm from Gatwick Area Conservation Campaign, and also Cagney Reduced Communities Against Gatwick Noise and Emissions, which was formed in February this year. Gatwick is endeavouring to be bigger than Heathrow. Now, Gatwick's surrounded by green areas of outstanding natural beauty, and picking up on the point of a level playing field, it's not a level playing field. And it would seem those that I don't know about Europe, I'm sorry, but in the UK, the body that is meant to be independent, that is meant to represent the residents, the Civil Aviation Authority, seem to have also been bought by aviation. And the millions of pounds of the developers or the investors behind Gatwick seem to be winning because they have the money. And this independent body, the Civil Aviation Authority, that we look to safeguard our homes, our land, our green belt, seems to be giving an upper hand to Gatwick Airport. I can't speak for Heathrow, but Gatwick aims to be bigger than Heathrow. And if you take on board that no credibility is given to the fact that Gatwick is surrounded by hills, areas of outstanding natural beauty, the rural economy is very, very healthy. It will be destroyed if Gatwick expands. You talk about night flights. We have daytime and night flights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week out of Gatwick. And we hear it because the noise in a rural area is about 30 decibels, whereas in an urban environment you're talking about 60 to 70 decibels. So when you've got no noise at all, tranquility, you are hit by 90 decibels every 1 minute coming out of Gatwick Airport. Now we've seen a huge increase of flights this summer, and Gatwick declares this to be absolutely wonderful for the local economy, but no credibility is given at all to what the rural lifestyle, the rural economy actually brings to this country. And we pay our taxes, and I think it should be a level playing field, and the rural economy should be accounted for into the equation, and not just the millions of these private investors who are in the UK, in our case in Gatwick, are offshore and they pay no corporation tax. So I would like to see a level playing field on all counts.